day 19 and just finished up at the gym. I'm going to be taking, I don't have my salt capsules on me or any sleep minerals or anything like that, so I'm taking just some salt because, yeah, I have salt in my car in order to replenish my electrolytes in the sauna. Probably like 1.5 grams ish, but today I've been fasting, and there's one thing I want to talk about. So yesterday I went off carnivore for a little bit. I mean, I would want to consider it like a cheat day, but I was on Facebook messaging people in carnivore groups, talking to them, and came across this one group where it's like carnivore, and then they had like, they were like, oh yeah, you should take some honey or maple syrup while on carnivore. Here are the benefits, yada yada. So I tried it. I'm like, maybe I can, if I put a little bit of honey on my steak, like I could call that seasoning. And then I did it, and then like the moment that carbs hit, I'm like, I want more honey. So I put more honey on my steak, more honey. And then I had my second steak of the day, and I had honey with that, and all of a sudden I'm like, crap, I probably consumed like 50 grams of honey today, or something insane. And I was like, well, I guess, I mean, this is like no longer carnivore. So then my mentality shifted to more so, well, if today's a cheat day anyway, I'm gonna have a cheat day. So then I wound up eating like a couple apples, and I had a little bit of dark chocolate, and I woke up feeling like crap. I mean, that's one of the things I wanted to, is one of the things you need to take into consideration when doing carnivore diet is eliminating sugar. When you add it back in, it is hard to control because it's just like, it's so, like your body, the moment you have it, is just like more. And when I started with literally a little bit, and then it just progressed to, I don't know, it's kind of like you go on autopilot and your brain takes over, and it's just like, repeat the action that gave us all this dopamine. And it's why last time I went on the carnivore diet and then got off of it, I was doing like carnivore, but then I'd eat an apple and go to the, like, eat an apple in the car to the gym, so that I could get out of the house, not be around food. I could have the apple, get my workout in, burn through the carbs, and then by the time I got back home, be back in ketosis. Because if I wasn't, and my glucose was still spiked or crashing, and my body would just be like, I would give more sugar. And I don't know how people do it on those carnivore groups where it's like carnivore plus maple syrup or carnivore plus honey. I can't do that. I eat too much honey, I eat too much whatever it is. I find it easier to do all or none. But I mean, this also stems, like, gives you insights for if you ever go off carnivore for a period of time. When you first go off, you'll want to eat like so much food, and because I was used to being filled up by eating the steak, because mostly fat, there's no sugars in it, so I just eat and I'm like, I'm satisfied, and then I'd stop eating. When you go back to eating sugar, you're like, holy crap, give me more. You're not even hungry, you're just like, give me more. So I don't know, for me personally, I'm just counting that as a cheat day and then continuing on with this experiment. I feel like I had to sneeze there. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in harping on yourself or like allowing it to drag you down because you went off a diet for a day. And I know I used to, when I did carnivore the first time, like years ago, I allowed it to, like, if I went off carnivore for a day, if I had some food, and I mean, normally this would happen because I would, like, smoke weed, and then the weed would cause my dopamine to crash, and then when my dopamine crashed, I'd be like, well, I just, like, binge watch whatever in order to escape from the lack of dopamine, which basically put me on autopilot, which then led to me eating carbs. So, I mean, it was like a very downward cycle, which is why I quit weed. I'm very happy I don't smoke weed anymore. I find it a lot better. And it kind of went along with dressing nicer, where I was asking myself, I started dressing nicer because I started noticing the benefits I had. I mean, just for one case, I got bumped up to first class because I had a nice button-down suit and, well, button-down shirt and, like, dress pants on, and I was flying back from Bangladesh, and they bumped me up to first class. It was awesome. It's like a $5,000 ticket because I decided to dress nice instead of dressing like the crappy athletic wear I normally wear. And ever since then, I've just been dressing nice. I mean, nice cotton shirt, khaki pants. Good at stitching things, fixing little holes in my clothing. But back to the point. What you kind of have to watch out for is cycles of, like, binging, because those are primarily brought on due to, like, shame. And then the shame comes from just, like, feeling bad because you built your identity around a diet, which is not something you should do, and you should catch yourself and not allow yourself to judge others for the dietary choices they make. I mean, it's hard sometimes, but don't allow yourself to, like, walk by someone eating fast food and be like, oh, I'm better than them. Because I used to do that years ago, and then if I went off carnivore, I was kind of falling from this, like, pedestal I had of myself in my head of, like, oh, look at me, I only eat meat, doing this, doing that, so good. And then, because I mean, when you judge someone, you're really just judging yourself. And I think Shakespeare is like, when you condemn others, you're really just condemning yourself. If you call other people fat, and you probably think you're fat, or you're trying to escape a self-image of being fat. But with it, by not allowing yourself to necessarily build your identity around a diet, which I really wouldn't do, because I've seen people, like, at least vegans for sure, who build their identity around the diet, and then they, years down the road, their body starts lacking certain nutrients because they're vegan, and then they can't think clearly, because, like, if I go off veganism, then who am I? All my friends are vegan, all the people I talk to are vegan. Like, if I lose my vegan community, and then who am I? That's not good. I mean, do carnivore because either your brother challenged you to, like mine did, or because you believe is the best thing for you to do at that point in time. But always ask yourself, is this still the best thing for me to do at this point in time? And you can experiment with that. You can go off of it for a day. You can realize, oh, if I go off and I eat this food and this food, then I feel like crap, I want to go back on it. Like, you can do all this, but, like, building your identity around the diet, when I did that previously, would turn, like, something like yesterday, where I had honey, then apples, then a little bit of chocolate, into, like, 3-day thing, because I'm like, oh, I'm no longer doing my perfect diet, and I know I'm going to go back on the diet, so I'm going to eat everything I can't have while on the diet, because I'm never going to have it again, or something like that. Like, it just creates really negative relationships with food. And instead, I was like, okay, well, I had a bunch of sugar today. I'm going to definitely be out of ketosis. Well, I want to have an apple or two and a little bit of chocolate, and then we're going to fast tomorrow, and then I'm going to go back on the carnivore diet. I mean, that is something you can easily do. I mean, I could have just said, you know what, I had a lot of honey, I want to cut out and not have any apples or anything else. I could have done that. Probably would have been easier if I left the house. 'Cause, I mean, once your brain has it, it's like a huge dopamine spike, and that is like a very strong motivator to continue the behavior that gave you the dopamine. Oh, and the negative thing about shame and thinking of like, oh, well, I couldn't, like, I'm bad because I couldn't stay on the diet or something. The issue with that is it's going to cause you to have really low dopamine and feel negative about yourself. And what are you going to do? You're going to go to the thing, you're going to try to find some way to get quick dopamine so you don't feel like crap. And your body just discovered, I can go get sugar. And that gives me a lot of quick dopamine. I won't feel like crap. And then the cycle continues, and it's just a down spiral. So, I mean, my advice is just don't build your identity around the diet. If you have carbs to go off of it, then realize that's okay. You can just go back on carnivore. I mean, for me, I'm still staying day 19, day 20. I'm not restarting anything. I mean, it's a 180-day thing to go carnivore. I'm just going to be more mindful next time. And, well, it's a 180-day carnivore experiment. So, I'm not going for streaks or anything, but I'm just not going to have honey. You know, if I allow carbs into the diet, then my body craves those carbs more. And then it's hard for me to, like, regulate my eating. I'm going to want to eat more food. And yeah, so I'm just going to go back to what I was doing beforehand, not having honey. Workout today was really good. I'm going to go home and do the dips and also bicep workout because I didn't do that at the gym. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing them at the house because there's some stuff I can do at the house, like the rice bucket for my fingers and my grip, the neck bridges, the ring dips, the bicep curls, and then some stuff I need the equipment at the gym to do. So I'm trying to do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If I need stuff, like I want to do the stuff at the gym that I can't do at my house, and then I want to get into the habit of doing like a 10 to 15 minute workout at my house, like every other day that I'm not at the gym, with just like neck bridges, bicep curls, just like lower effort exercises that don't necessarily leave me exhausted. So the point of the workout isn't to like go to exhaustion. The point of the workout is just to work on certain movements and speed up the process by doing them. I'll probably take a day or two off a week from the exercises, but I think I can do bicep curls, neck bridges, rice bucket, and dips. At least right now at the weights I'm doing them at, 5 days a week. I mean, I did 200 push-ups a day for like a year. And I found that really useful. I wasn't overtraining at all. Yeah, so my recovery last night, because I had the carbs, was pretty bad. I woke up this morning, I think my recovery is like a 58 out of 100. And I mean, that's definitely due to the sugar and the fact that I forgot to turn my heated blanket off, which meant I went to bed. I mean, this is something I need to do. I like warming up my bed with a heated blanket, but then I went to bed and I left it on, so I woke up like an hour later really hot from the heated blanket, and then I unplugged it, turned it off, and kind of tossed it to, I kicked it down to one corner of my bed so it wasn't bothering me. Besides that, I know I didn't make a video Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday I kind of just hung out. I went to UNH, got some work done, wrestled with the team. Oh, I'm becoming an assistant coach there, which is nice, for insurance reasons. So that, I think it's for both my protection. So if I injure someone else or someone else injures me, if I'm an assistant coach, then I'm covered by the gym's policy or something. So hopefully I'll be able to get my parking validated, which is going to save me some money. And then, what else? Yesterday I did some cold plunging and sauna work. I went to the gym, but just wasn't really feeling it because it was later than I normally go. And I was like, plus it was after I had the sugar. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to sit in the sauna and cold plunge. Kind of helps reset the system after, clears the head. I mean, once you get in that mode of having the sugar, your brain just like, it's just one track. It's just like sugar. So I find it useful to like go for a walk or go to the gym in order to reset the mind. Besides that, I gotta go to the bank today, and then I need to work on the website, but touch back in later. So I looked it up, and the rut for the deer hunting season started yesterday in my area, at least according to Google, which has some merit to it. So spent an hour today, got my stand out in the woods. I already had 4 cameras up here, and I just put another 2. So I will hopefully be all ready come shotgun season, which is primarily what I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna come out a couple times during the rut, but I need to put in about maybe like an hour's worth of time into archery in order to get back in the swing of it, because it's been a little while since I've shot. But again, these woods, it's not like I'm shooting more than 35 yards, which I'm more than capable of. So just need to find some time to get out here. Not sure how the audio is coming across. It's very leafy. Wow, that's better than I thought. Give me a second. Let me see if I can reposition my finger. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that does it. Yeah, out here on a walk. I freaking love going for walks at night, especially in the winter when it gets nice and cold. Like, the colder it is, the more I can see the stars. Like, I can't really see the stars right now, but I love finding openings on like farm roads where there's nothing around at all. You're just looking up at the stars, and you can kind of like imagine what life was like. Like, you just look up and you're like, yeah, there's fields beside you. Normally would have been woods, but you look up, you're like, this is what this looked like for the past couple thousand years. And as long as you look up, I find it like really trippy, like ego death inducing. You kind of just are glancing up like this, in your periphery you can't see any trees, and all you see is the sky, and you just stand there and you plant your feet, and you can kind of imagine yourself standing on top of the earth as it hurtles through space at like millions of miles an hour. I'm not sure what the actual number is, hundreds of thousands of miles an hour. Depends on the reference frame you're looking at, but just like as the earth rotates around the sun, getting whipped around, and just thinking about the space and the cosmos, and how we're we're the only planet we know of that has life, and how many different stars there are in galaxies. And I love it. And I also find the blackness of everything, and especially when it's nice and cold out or snowing, it kind of adds this layer of like inhospitality. And it reminds me of like what our ancestors had to go through to settle this land, what human beings can endure. Like, yeah, I get it. I'm all bundled up with my clothes on, going out for a walk for like an hour. But like when it's really cold out, really bad weather, I was like imagining what it would have been like for like some of the first settlers, some of the Native Americans, I mean, even some of the Vikings, which are way north of where I am, and how bad the weather there was and what life would have been like for them. And I don't know, kind of the uncertainty, the death around the corner. I don't know, some bear could come out of the woods and try to kill you. Just the pioneer spirit of it all, the adventure. And I was like thinking about it because I remind myself that like what humans can endure, what they can do when they set their mind to stuff. And I try to do stuff to test myself with, like, I did ice baths every day for a year. I've done prolonged fasting, but like, I don't know, all of that is because we've, at least in the United States, eliminated all of the predators out of the woods. At least around here we've like gotten rid of all like, no one is going to raid us. There's no fighting tribes. There's no communities nearby that are hostile. You can go out for walks at night and have it be safe, but you can still kind of imagine what people would have thought in certain areas if it wasn't. And it kind of helps me to think back and connect with, at least get as close as I can where I am right now to what early pioneers would have thought about. And it's kind of a mindfulness meditation where you read books about this stuff to help you, but you also, car coming, go out here at night to experience it. Try to put yourself in the mindset of those people. And every now and then a car does come down the road and kind of ruin the illusion of it, but if you can find some place where there's really not a lot of people, you can keep it going for a while. Anyways, I got my hunting stand up in the woods, which is nice, so I'll be able to go deer hunting. I also got up 2 extra trail cameras in a new spot I'm pretty confident about. I saw 1 rub and 2 scrapes while walking to it in the facility of where I set up my cameras. So hopefully I'll be making a video showing me shooting and then tracking and harvesting a deer. Besides that, I broke my fast today for dinner after I got out of the woods. Had a strip steak and tasted good. Granted, it is like a little, after you've added honey to it and then you go back to eating it plain, you're like, there's kind of this idea or this craving for the sweetness that it gave. And like anything else, back when I would relapse on nicotine or something, you just kind of, you don't think about it. If the idea pops up, you're like, isn't that a silly thought? And then you dismiss it. And after 2 or 3 days, you find yourself no longer thinking it and no longer craving it, and then it just goes away. So using nicotine withdrawal tactics to apply to sugar. But anyways, beautiful night. I'm gonna finish my walk and my arm is in lots of pain from holding the camera at this weird angle. So peace out.